Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about ChatGPT. As you probably know, ChatGPT is all over the internet. It's the talk of the town, so to speak. And rightly so. There is a lot here, a lot of good things you can do with ChatGPT. Now, the main thing you need to know about ChatGPT is prompting is so important to getting results. It's kind of like when you're searching the internet. Why do so many people ask me to search the internet for them? I have quite a few people that often ask me how to find something. They can do it, but they're not using the right words. They're not using the right search terms to get the results they're looking for. With prompt engineering, or basically what is just doing a prompt to request ChatGPT to generate something, that is taken to a new level. So you really have to study this and try to understand how it works if you want to be good at it. But if you're looking at my screen here, you're going to see this plug. This is a Chrome extension. So AIPRM. That's what you want to search for. You can install that and you will find that it has currently 987 prompts available. They're listed in categories, and you can sort them by votes or updates or whatever you want. And you can also do a search. So what I just did earlier was story. And the reason I did story is I'm going to show you an example of what you can do with ChatGPT. Now, I know this is a tech show and all of that, and so what I'm about to do it's tech, but it's for my daughter. So my daughter is not very interested in reading, but if you'll look at this, you'll see a little cat. Now, I wrote this story, well, ChatGPT did, and all I did was enter a prompt and gave it a general outline of what the story was going to be about. And it wrote this whole story, complete with chapter headings and everything, and it's really good. So yeah, we're going to show you how that works, or how it can work. Now, one way you can do it is you can install the plugin that I mentioned and use the short story generator. That's the number one. It has 8.7 thousand, so it's 8,722 likes. So that's how they sort them if you want. So there are other plugins, the short story wizard and story, the home page, that's more for your website. Choose your own adventure story game book. So there's some other things to make stories. But you can also write your own prompt, and it's pretty simple. So I'm going to give you an example of what that kind of a prompt could look like. So here's the prompt down here, and what I did was I asked ChatGPT to write a story with chapter headings about a little girl named Kitty who loves cats. One night, while sleeping, she had a dream that she turns into a cat and a great adventure begins. But when she goes home, she sees her mother and father crying because they cannot find her. And she meows at the door, but they don't know it is her. Finally, the mother figures out that her daughter is a cat, and they are happy she is home, but sad because they don't want her to be a cat. In the end, their love releases Kitty. She becomes a little girl again, and the family lives happily ever after. Now, I don't know exactly what ChatGPT is going to create for us here, And that's the great thing about ChatGPT. I could enter this exact same script and in a new chat, and it will create a different story each time. Now, it will follow the guidelines that I gave it, but it's going to create a new story. Now, this is also good for writing blog articles and doing a lot of this stuff. Now, I recommend for blog articles that you don't let it write the entire blog article. There are outlines available here where you can ask ChatGPT to create an outline for a blog article. So my favorite way to do that is, let's say we're going to do a top 10 list. I will say, ChatGPT, give me a top 10 list for this topic. And then give me some examples of what those 10 topics could include. So then now I have an outline, and it helps with the writer's block thing. And that's, as you know, if you're not a writer, you know that writer's block thing is killer. Even for writers it can be. So when you already have an outline, now you can type up a story type up an article pretty quickly, because you've got it laid out for you, and all you're doing is basically filling in the blanks. So let that be the kind of thought process that you use with ChatGPT, because churning out these articles with ChatGPT like a lot of people are doing, it's really running up against the rules of Google and Bing and the search engines, and you may not be providing the kind of quality content that is actually going to rank, and it's possible it could get you like shadow banned or something like that. So I would be very careful with that. But as far as having it help you write the articles, that's a fantastic idea. It's just like having a professional writer say, hey, let's start it like this. So, okay, let's get back to what we were doing here with the story. And this is a good example of how it can help you write something. And an example of other ways you can do this. Again, like I think I mentioned, my daughter, she's not big on reading. But when I create these stories for my daughter that is about her, where she is the main character in the story, well, she likes it for some reason. So maybe this can help you too. So we're going to just press enter and watch what ChatGPT does. Chapter 1, Kitty and the Kittens. So there you see, it's just going to take off and start writing this story about a little girl who had a dream. And there's Kitty's dream. One night, after a long day of playing with her friends, Kitty went to bed early. As she drifted to sleep, she had a dream that she was a cat. So it's really great. It's the story that I already showed you is much different than this one, even though I used basically the same prompt. And you see here, it's just going to write this all up, and you can use big words and you can also tell it to write this story like for the education level of a third grader or preschool, and it will write the story using much simpler words. So that's another thing you can do when you're prompting, is tell it how you want it to write the story. If you want it to use bigger words, you don't have to do that. I don't tell it because I'm trying to challenge my daughter. She's in the third grade and she needs exposure to more words and learn the context of words so she can understand them. So she's doing really, really good with this. Okay, now we got to here and it's stopped, but the story isn't over. So what we're going to do is we're going to type continue and enter. and it's going to continue the story. So now we've got chapter 8. So it'll go through here, and it knows it's a story because I asked it to write a story. And eventually it's going to get to the end, and it's going to say the end and maybe happily ever after or something like that. So as you can see, we're getting towards the end of the story. Her family grew even stronger. The power of love. Kitty's experience taught her that love is a powerful force that can overcome even the toughest obstacles. It had the power to heal wounds and bring people back together. And there you go, the happily ever after. Probably, depending on how you say it, like I did say a little girl. So they're writing a book targeted to a little girl. So you're going to get the kind of content that would be more appealing to a little girl. And ChatGPT knows that. You'll be shocked when you're using this how much ChatGPT understands as far as the writing style being tailored to the audience. They can understand the fact that this is a little girl and target it to her. I haven't tried. I don't have a son, but I can imagine that if I said it was a little boy and he was a dog or he turns into a dog and all of that, that the story would be a little bit different. It would tailor it more to that. So depending on who you say the story is about, who is the main character, and how you enter the prompt, then you're going to get a different result. So there you go. Nice story. You can copy that and you can put it into a little book, and your daughter can color it. And on the last page, I also put one more little picture for her to color. And she was so happy to take this to school and show her friends. And it's very funny. A couple of her friends said they already read that book, which is obviously ridiculous, but you know how kids are. So let's try one more thing. And I'm going to show you how easy this is. We're going to click New Chat. Now the thing about ChatGPT is every new chat is going to start with a clean slate. If I went back to Kitty's dream here and... oh, that's a different Kitty's dream. Yeah, this was the original Kitty dream. The end. See, it ends with the end. And it didn't say chapters. It just said titles for the chapter. So that's my point, that it's different. Now, you could say, please make sure you number the chapters and things, and then you'll get different results, depending on how specific you are. Okay, here's Kitty's cat that we just did. So if I asked ChatGPT to do something here, right, it's going to remember the context of the story that it just told. And so it will use that and try to stay on topic with this particular story. So let's just say, where was Kitty? Or let's say, let's go, where was Kitty in 20 years? And let's just see what it says. It's not a very good prompt, but let's ask and see what they say. She had grown up, kind, thoughtful woman. She still loved cats and had several of her own, but also had a career as a veterinarian. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's staying on topic. She loves cats, so she becomes a veterinarian, and she married a man named Jack who also loves animals. There you go. She never forgot the lessons. So, you get it. She's taught classes at local schools about responsible pet ownership. It's staying on topic. And that's what I love about ChatGPT is that is if you're staying in the chat, it's going to remember what you talked about and you can pull out this extra information. So if you were asking for a blog outline and it gives you 10 topics, but you don't like those 10 topics, you don't have to start all back from the beginning because you already asked it a question. So it remembers that question. Now, I have found that if you go back later, even after a few minutes sometimes, it'll lose focus on the topic and say, I can't remember, or something like that. So I advise you to go through and do all of those kind of things right away. That doesn't mean you can't go back, because sometimes I have and it still remembers, but sometimes it doesn't. And I'm paying for the premium version, so you would think it would remember better, and it does remember better. I don't get kicked out anymore. It's worth $20 to me because I do a lot of stuff with it. But I recommend that you get back in there and do it right away. So anyway, back to, you create 10 topics using this 10 topics, an outline for the top 10 list, and you're looking at your list and you're like, it's not that great. I'd really like to have other things in there because some of these I don't like. Just press continue. Like right here, I asked it this question: what happens if I just say continue? I don't know, but let's see. There you go. It just continues on the story of Kitty. And that's, again, the great thing about this is it will continue. Now, if you're asking it like for a list, at some point it's going to tell you that they've exhausted all of the, common topics, and it's going to be duplicative and all of that. But you can see where for writing a story, depending on how you structure your prompts, this story could be literally never ending. You could just keep going. What happened to her in 5 years? What happened to her 10 years? What happened to her in 6 months? What happened to her friends? What happened to, the cats and all of this stuff? There's just no limit. And this could all be weaved into a book. So you can see right there, just by asking 2 more prompts, that we got 2 more pages minimum of content. So very interesting to me. Whether it is to you, that's up to you. But let's start a new chat. Let's get out of the story, and I'm going to show you what I was talking about, outlines and stuff like that. Now, I believe there is an outline generator here. So we have an outline for a blog article. We have better content outlines. So ebook outline generator, keyword research article, content research and outline generator. So let's try that one. That sounds good. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in 1 keyword, and it's going to generate 5 long tail keywords, 1 title, 3 quotes, 1 heading, 3 H2 headings, 6 H3 headings, and 18 H4 headings, and 5 questions. So this is just going to generate an outline. So this is still going to require you, I'm guessing, to do your own work, do your own research, write your own article, but it's helping you get the work, get the outline done, so that all you're doing is basically plugging it in. And the great thing is, you can delete some of these headings. You can run the same query twice and merge the 2 articles or the 2 outlines into a single outline with the kind of topics that fit closer to what you want. So I'm a big WordPress fan. So I'm just going to enter WordPress, and let's see what we get. And off it goes. So it's giving me topics. It's giving me quotes. I like that. Matt, the founder of WordPress, got a nice quote for him. We got here the outline for our article, tips and tricks. That's what this is going to be about. And one of those focuses is going to be choosing the right theme. And then here's what to consider, right? And then the H2s, you see as the H2s come in, then the H3s under that and the H4s under that. So it's a really nice outline, and it's going to create a fantastic article. Now, as I said, people are using this to write the entire article, and I'm just not going to recommend that to you because you're playing with fire there. Google's constantly updating their algorithms, and you don't want to get banned. You don't want to get shadow banned. You don't want to play with that fire. Just write it yourself. Stick to topics that you know about. If you don't know about it, man, learn about it. If you're going to be writing about stuff, learn about it. Now, here's one of the best ones that I like out of this. 5 common questions when searching for WordPress on Google. This is, each one of these could be a story in itself, so, or an article in itself. So you could start all over from scratch and just enter, when they ask you for the keyword, how do I install WordPress on my website? And it will do the same thing like this, but the topic will be, how do I install WordPress on my website? So it would give you like a really, really detailed article about, or article outline about how do you do that. So this is the way I would approach it. Instead of trying to let it do everything for you, you're not learning anything. You're potentially running up against a shadow ban. It's just not worth it. Okay, you could run a perfectly good website. All right, now we're going to go back here again one more time, and I'm just going to show you some of the things that are available. So let's get rid of outline. And if you get rid of outline, you're going to find what I'm talking about. Outrank article. So it's going to write an article for you. And this is the #1 prompt that this extension offers. So it's the Outrank article where you put in a competitor's URL and it'll try to write an article better than that for you. Now, again, I'm just not going to recommend that. It's #1 because it sounds great. You know, let's let AI write the best articles and we can all rank and all that. But if everybody's doing it, do you really believe that's going to work? It's not. It's going to get you banned. It's going to produce questionable or low-ranked content. And I'll tell you, look out there and you will see ChatGPT isn't always right. I know personally, like for example, I had ChatGPT write some stuff up about Google My Business. So Google My Business. And it said in the content that it provided that one of the ways to get more reviews was to buy them. So offer free gifts, offer money, offer something for the free or for the reviews. And I'll tell you what, that's completely against Google's guidelines. That will definitely get you in big trouble if they find out. And that's directly against your business or the business of your client. You're going to get your client or yourself removed from Google My Business, and that it could be catastrophic to someone's business. So that is done because somewhere out there, ChatGPT's information that they learn from, all those billions of articles or whatever, billions of words that they learn from, someone said that's how you do it. But that ChatGPT doesn't know if that's right or wrong. They just know somebody said it. So you need to understand and stick to your lane. What are you good at? What do you know? And stick with that. Otherwise, when ChatGPT puts something like that in one of your articles and you publish it without reading the article, without knowing what parts of your article are true or false or misleading or just bad advice, some of that stuff, like what I just mentioned, Google's bots can probably tell. They might send a human out to inspect your site and be like, these people are actively promoting violating Google's terms of service. What do you think is going to happen? It's not going to be good. I assure you, Google won't be like, yay, they're violating our terms of service. That's not going to happen. They're going to be mad. You're going to get banned. All right, so let's look at some of the other stuff that this can do with prompts. Content rewriters, monthly calendars. A lot of good stuff. Human written. Don't buy it. I tested that just to see if it works. It doesn't. It won't pass all. Sometimes it'll pass one of the AI detectors and not another one and stuff. I'm not buying it. Google's the big game in town. You're not gonna be able to fool them that easy. They're going to figure it all out. They're going to write algorithm updates. They're going to catch you. Don't do it. All right, let's look at the topics here and then we'll finish up. I just want to show you copywriting. So this is really good for writing articles and stuff like that. But again, I'm asking you to be safe. Just use it for outlines. Generative AI, marketing. Love this one because it can do things like writing a marketing plan for you. Let's just take a look at that. Get a monthly content calendar. Awesome. Instagram post carousel content. One-click course creator. Now this, depending on how you use it, this would not violate Google's terms because it could be placed inside of a paywall. So you're creating courses and it's helping you. Again, mind you, make sure those courses, you know the topic. Otherwise, you could be feeding people and asking them to pay for content that is just wrong or not good advice. So make sure you know and read the courses that you generate. Make sure it's good content. Instagram posts, social media posts. So 30 social media posts and image suggestions with one click. Again, is it violating Google's policies? Probably doesn't matter as much, but it may not be as helpful for you. So, yeah, you can figure that out. Your social media manager. Write a book chapter. Create professional advertising campaign. Now, this is the kind of stuff that I like, is you can ask it to help you with advertising campaigns, social media strategies. Let's try that one. That's a good one. SEO, so down operating systems, productivity, that's a good one it can help you with. But let's look at SEO. So we go to SEO, see if we can find, yeah, this one, keyword strategy. So let's use WordPress again. WordPress. And it's going to provide us with a keyword strategy. So here it is. Keyword cluster, search intent, title, and description. So WordPress hosting, best WordPress hosting services. This is commercial, so possibly you could use it for affiliate purposes. The title, the top 10 best WordPress hosting services for your website, and the description right here. So this is a good outline for an article. So these are all on WordPress hosting, and now it's kicking out WordPress themes. And as you see, it's listing some as commercial and some as informational. Now, if you do a blog, I highly recommend that you do more informational than commercial. The reason being is you don't want to come across as every post that you offer is just about making money, right? You want to provide a lot of quality information to help build up your authority with Google and your readers. So do a lot of informational stuff and mix some commercial in there. That doesn't mean on the informational stuff you can't put some links in the end of the article, at the end of the article, that says, hey, you know, these are affiliate links. We may get a commission, but, you know, support me. I do that. You're going to see it down below this video. So there you go. Look at all that. And I can click continue and it'll continue on. And you see we're starting to get some more informational stuff, which is great. A lot of good informational stuff. WordPress tutorial for beginners, theme development, plugin development, website maintenance. Now these are going to be more technical. So if you're not a developer and you might not be able to really understand what good content for those articles are, but if you're experienced with WordPress, this one should be easy, and the website maintenance should be easy. And if I generate more, I'll probably get more good suggestions. So there you go. Really, really good. I hope you liked this video. And remember, I've said it many times. I know I'm being repetitive, but just be careful. You really don't know what's going to happen in the future, and if these kind of, you know, AI generated articles that are being spit out without any thought about accuracy, without any thought about whether Google is going to ban AI content at some point or whatever, you don't know. Right now they say if the content is useful, then it seems like they won't ban you. But what is useful? And does that not change? Because I assure you, with my past experiences with Google, their targets change. What they say today isn't going to be the same next year. So it may be okay today, and then next year, suddenly not okay anymore. And you've got all that on your website. So you have two choices. One, continue down the rabbit hole and, you know, with a failing site, delete it all and start all over again. These are not good options. So just remember that when you get started. Play it safe. You be the writer. AI is your assistant. AI is going to help you outline things, help you find information. That's another good way to use it. If you're stumped on something and you need a little help finding information, the AI can help you with that. But you need to write your articles. You need to put it together. You need to make it human friendly for your visitors. So good luck with that. Hope you liked the video. If you did, like it and subscribe to my channel. We're all over the place on tech, but most of the older videos are more focused on WordPress and on printers and doing like refurbishment of computers, things like that. But we're going to keep diversifying here and trying to bring new and better content to you. Everything about website design from every angle and tech from every angle. So thanks for watching again, and see you next time.